Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of Hosting the Spirit. This is our podcast. My name is Seb and this is Mimi. Mimi, what is our goal for starting this podcast? Like, what are we trying to do?
I think we're both just wanting to normalize inviting the Spirit into conversation and also not planning it. Like, I feel like every time we get together and have a conversation, we just kind of talk about life, and it ends up being such a cool moment with the Lord, and we want to invite that into this space as well. So why do you feel like the Lord was calling you to do this?
I think mainly for me, just seeing a lot of content on the internet, a lot of Christian content. There's a lot of people preaching at us all at once. There's a lot of voices out there. And for me, the goal necessarily isn't to really necessarily preach at anybody, but it's more so to invite people into a conversation, like you said, that's spontaneous, that's Spirit-led, and just kind of give some of my friends an opportunity to share insane stories or adventures they've had with Jesus that maybe nobody knows about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because these are normal people that you see every day at church or every day in your small group, and it's they don't get an opportunity to share what the Lord's done in their life.
Right.
So
everybody wants to do the same thing, I think. We're all okay, I want to go speak, I want to do this, I want to do this. And I'm there's so much that the Lord has called everybody to individually and uses their own gifts individually. You for sure have the gift of communicating, and I think writing is more where I feel like I've been called to recently, but then I feel like it was more of a conviction that I had that the Lord was why are you hiding behind your writing?
Right.
If you can speak, then speak. And I was that's true. I do. I do kind of, it's easier to write stuff than it is to say stuff out loud. And we even talked about that too, about how it's harder to just go on camera and be this is what's happening right now in my life that, is kind of confusing or is praiseworthy, and not everything's in hindsight. We're talking about right now. We're so young and we're just figuring it out still. Right. So
I think that's a part of it too. I think young Christians hopefully will see this and be understand that when you start with your walk with Jesus and when you're filled with the Holy Spirit, it doesn't mean there's an end to all fun.
Yeah.
And I think that was a big blockade for me when I first started really following the Lord. It's actually an invitation to have fun in a pure way.
Right.
And to show each other love that's real, that's not fake. And like you said, the first time that we met after years of seeing each other was me just kind of encouraging you in your writing, but more so even after I met you, I was you need to start a podcast. Your voice and your writing needs to come out in a way that you can communicate to people in person too. And I'm just excited.
I forget how this conversation even started between us. And I think we were walking somewhere and I was rambling and you were well, why don't we do one together? I was okay, yeah, sure, why not? Yeah. But let's explain our relationship.
Yeah, so I met Mimi when I was 3 or 4. Yeah. I don't know. We basically grew up together. Our moms are best friends. We shared a birthday party together one time.
We did share a birthday party together.
And I stole one of her presents, and then her and her friends. Yeah, your Barbie. Yeah. And she chased me around the community pool with her friends, and I thought I was going to get beat up by a group of 6-year-olds. But
that's crazy.
But yeah, we really haven't got to hang out or see each other for the last 2 years, and
it was 4 years.
Yeah, it was a long time.
Yeah,
but
because I think we both had separate journeys, but came together, in a way that was we understand. We kind of had the same process of growing up in a very strong home, a home that was very faith-based, and then we knew better and was okay, I don't care. Right. I want to see what else the world has to offer, and man, that did not go over well. But then it's cool to see that the Lord uses that too, and now we've come together and we can talk about stuff because of those things, even though in the moment it was oh man, what did I do? What have I done? One of the first times we hung out, you were yeah, I kind of thought you were dead. And I was no. I was like, no, I thought you might be dead too, but we're alive. We're fine.
Yeah, I think it was like a mutual understanding of like, okay, she's going off and doing her crazy stuff right now, and I'm going off and doing my crazy stuff right now. Mm-hmm. But we both went to big SEC Power 5 schools. She went to Arkansas. Yes. I went to OU. But then I think what triggered the whole thing was her mom's over at my house a lot.
Both Angie's?
Yeah, both of our mom's name is Angie too. I think it's funny. But I came and I was hanging out in the backyard, and they were just chilling out here talking, and your mom was talking about your writing, talking about you going to this convention for
writing.
Yeah, for writing, right? Spirit-filled writing.
Yeah. Well, yes, that's why I was there.
Right. But she started talking about it. I was like, dang, I need to get coffee with Mimi, like, because we were on the same wavelength at that point. I was like, man, I'm following Jesus too. I wonder how she's doing. Yeah. But yeah, she's just been a really like powerful like sister of mine for 22 years.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
She's like supported my family and supported me when I needed it, and I hope I've done the same. But yeah, I mean, just I don't know.
Well, like whenever we met for the first time again in like 4 years, you kind of called me out. You were like, well, I'm going to be disappointed if you don't live up to your potential.
Did I say that?
Yes, you did. And I wrote it down because I was like, I guess I needed to hear that. But geez, like, he's right though. Like, I don't know. Because I feel like I started writing kind of as an outlet, and just ask the Lord, if one person takes something from this, then like, that's great. All praises, And then the most random people were approaching me about it, and I was like, oh my gosh. And even then I still was stubborn about being consistent and like being bold, and so it did take a few conversations for me to finally realize like the Lord was like, hey, like, I know you better than you know yourself. I know that you're a little nervous, but I'm calling you to step out in boldness because this is what you love to do. And not so much a spirit of like, forcing you. Like, I don't think his faithfulness ever requires our obedience, but, we get to be obedient with him and like walk in this together.
Right.
And of course, you got me out of my nervousness, I guess, however you say that. But you've been doing so much lately for the Lord and for the kingdom, especially with like youth too. And I think that you can speak to a bunch of different groups because it went from public school, private school, SEC school. Now you're back here and speaking at, these huge like youth events, which is just kind of crazy.
Right. Yeah, I think it's so funny. I feel like I say this every time I have my small group with my 12th graders. But like the Lord really let me get into every kind of trouble there is so that I could properly be all things to all people.
Yes.
Like I really feel that strongly because I just feel like I've done everything.
You swim in that deep end for a little bit and you come back out at some point.
But one of the pastors at our church, he preached a really good sermon at one of our young adult nights, and he said, the farther and the longer you run away from Jesus, and the longer and the harder you make it for him to get your attention, the more he's going to require of you once he has your attention. And I was like, dang.
Yeah.
Sorry, acquire. I said acquire, but require. The more he's going to require of you once he has your attention.
Right.
And I just feel like that's been my whole life. It's like, he's asked me to do crazy things, and I've done it because I just like, he has such grace and mercy on my life. But
some of it's unavoidable too.
Yeah.
Like, some of it you're like, well, I didn't mean to get here, but here, I was having coffee with a girl yesterday, and she was like, so how did you get here? I was like, that's a good question. I don't know. I was like, it wasn't my idea, I'll tell you that, because I'm in seminary right now, first year, getting my master's in counseling, and it already has not looked anything like I expected it to, but if anything, it, again, like, really encouraged me and pushed me to put myself in environments where I could speak boldly. It's not like I'm just attaining knowledge to know more. Like, I want to use it and also just equip myself properly the best way that I can. But I feel like it's also, what's interesting about this is that, you're a guy, I'm a girl. We have different perspectives on so many things, especially spiritually. Like, I don't think that there's a ton of podcasts out there that they're either dating or married, you know, and
Right.
I think, again, we're young and we're both providing our perspectives from where we're at right now, which is a season of figuring it all out still.
Yeah.
I would say 100%.
Very much so.
But yeah,
Yeah, I think it's interesting. But yeah, I mean, that's just our goal.
right.
Like we want to be in every spirit-filled environment that we can as young people.
Yeah.
Just because like something like some of our pastors make fun of us for as young adults at the church too is we'll never have more time than we have right now.
Yes.
Like we're going to be married with kids
Oh my
and
gosh. Yeah.
like this is the most amount of time we have to spend with the Lord, doing things for him, doing things with him. So we want to utilize it to the best of our ability. And we don't want to cut creativity out of that too. I feel like that was a huge part of our conversation initially was like, you're so creative in your writing, but it doesn't have to stop there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Lord can continue to use it in other facets and other areas. So we need to stop quenching him.
Seriously.
In every
That's such a good word.
every aspect
Yeah.
of our life. Like,
Yeah.
because
I
it's
mean,
easy, right? The things that scare us, it's easy to quench them and be like, no, I'm not going to go there with you, Lord.
Oh,
But
yeah. I mean, you ask him like 15 times if he's sure, and he's like, yes, I am sure. Like, and I'm like, okay, just checking one more time.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think you definitely have a calling to really encourage. I think you are definitely have the gift of encouragement just because you want to uplift everybody in what they're called to do. And I mean, that's why we want to have people on here that are from all these different types of, you know, Christian creators or artists or speakers,
Right.
whatever that looks like. Even if we don't agree 100% on everything, because there's just so much disunity on so many different levels. And at the end of the day, we all believe the same gospel,
Yeah.
you know? And I
Hopefully.
think we should, yes, hopefully. I mean, that's going to be an awkward conversation if we find out otherwise. But I think inviting that here is also just so important. And it's important to also acknowledge that we, you know, different opinions on stuff too.
yeah,
And like have a genuine conversation about it. Because, I mean, so much of that is just like, one of my professors described it as, you know, how many pieces are you leaving outside of the box is, you know, we're all leaving pieces outside of the box. The Lord is the only one who truly knows all of that. But just inviting that here, like sense of unity and confrontation.
Yeah.
I don't know.
yeah. I mean, in Philippians 3, Paul talks about us being held responsible to the knowledge that we do have.
Yes,
And then
yeah.
he'll reveal to us, God will reveal to us the things that we don't already know.
Yes.
Or the things that we're confused on. And so, and he also says in the same passage, he's like, this one thing I know, this one thing I'll do is I will forget the things behind me and look forward to what is the prize. So I
true.
feel like that's really what we want to focus on.
Yeah.
And with both of our stories and what we've been through, I think that's the most important thing in our walk. Because it's hard because you feel a lot of that shame and guilt, but
Man, don't we? Yeah.
it's difficult.
It is difficult. And I mean, but like that's the enemy's goal. And this is not a space of a spirit of condemnation either. Like,
Right.
I mean, that was probably one of our biggest hesitancies was like, oh man, like we both have messed up in areas. Not to share some of your,
Yeah,
not
dude.
to like expose you or anything.
Yeah, just put it all out,
Expose
bro.
myself. I know, first one. But I think that there is like so much fear invoked in our generation, especially with social media, about, you know, having to have this perfect look to be able to step out and speak. And I'm like, I mean, look at who the Lord chose to be his disciples. That certainly was not the case. And I think it's like you said, like the more attention, you know, the farther you go, the more attention he'll require, but also the farther you go, the more that he's going to be able to use that for his good.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely none of the stories in the Bible are about these perfect people who had it all together. I mean, so yeah, I'm excited to see what this turns into and what this looks like. But
Yeah, I just want to meet new,
I know.
cool Christians.
Yeah,
I want to
me
hear
too.
new, cool stories and just see how the Lord's moving, because I think we forget a lot of the times that we serve a resurrection God,
Right.
a God of power, a God of authority, a God that moves in places where we don't think he moves.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like just the other day, we were going to a young adult night 2 weeks ago, and one of our buddies, his name's Ben. He's super prophetic, love him to death. He's awesome. But he's telling us this story about some missionaries out in the Middle East, and one of them got his head chopped off.
What?
And they go to I forget what you call it, the morgue. They're going to the morgue. They put his head in the freezer. His body's in the tray, and they pull out his body in the tray, and he's zipped up in the bag. And for whatever reason, there are missionaries in there praying over him, and the body bag starts to move.
No way.
Yes, the body bag starts to move, and then they're like, "Quick, like give him the head." And so they went and got his head.
And he's alive
They
now?
threw it in the body bag and zipped it up because they were scared, and it all kept moving. And then they heard him talk.
No. And
so they unzip the body bag. He comes out. His head is like attached. He still has the scarring or whatever. And then the next day he goes out and preaches the gospel.
Are you lying?
No, I'm not lying. This is a story I heard.
Gosh, we were literally talking about this the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's like,
What?
at that point, if we believe that
I
Jesus
mean,
was
you know
resurrected,
what? He
like
can do anything.
I refuse not to have faith in that.
I know. Right, he can do anything, but I've already spoken my rebuttal, but I'm going to say it again. Because if I go up and meet the Lord and somebody makes me come back down here, I am not going to be happy. I'm going to be like, I'm going to have a vendetta against whoever. I'm going to like, who was it? Who brought back to life?
Yeah, I'll point at my buddy Ben, because I'll be like, I know it was you. I know it was you.
I'm going to have something
I
to
know
say.
you prayed for my resurrection.
Yeah,
but
funny.
I'm sure the Lord obviously did that for a reason and continues to use it. But
That is so crazy. Wow.
yeah, those are the stories I want to hear, though.
Yeah.
Like our first guest that we'll have on, his name's Michael, and he's got some insane stories with the Lord. So make sure that you tune into that. You come back for our next video. We love you guys. Thanks for listening to us. Do you want to say anything else?
We'll see you next time.
Yeah, next time.
Yep. First one.
I'm Seb,
I'm Mimi.
and we'll see you guys next episode. Love you.